Three, two, one. Hi everyone, my name is Assaf Luxembourg. This here is Jared Maram, and this video is part of a blog post that is all about Jared's journey moving from South Africa to Israel and building his career here. Jared, first of all, thank you so much for
Thank you
being
for
here.
having me.
All right, so why don't you start by telling whoever's watching a little bit about you and what's your story?
I'm Jared. I'm from Johannesburg in South Africa. I studied law, so I have a legal background, and I came on a Masa program. I made Aliyah, and now I'm living in Israel.
Okay, so going back to the beginning, what was your original motivation moving here?
I just wanted a fresh start. I wanted a career change, and I wanted to move abroad.
Why Israel?
I am Jewish. I grew up in a Jewish family and I have Jewish values. The sense of community in Israel drew me for the opportunity, and an opportunity to come on a Masa program on a paid internship also appealed to me, and that's why I made the decision.
Okay, so what happened since that program ended? That was about 2 years ago.
Since the program ended, I got a job.
Okay.
I settled. My job didn't work out initially.
Didn't work out. Okay.
And now I have another job.
All right. So this is your second job after moving here.
Yes.
So let's talk about that process for a little bit, because this is the whole point of this video. How does it look like? What was your hardest moment once your internship program ended?
When you're on the Massai program, you have accommodation, you're really comfortable. But once your program ends, that safety net is taken away from you.
All at once.
Straight away, and you're faced with a lot of pressure and anxiety. You don't know what's happening next. So for me, that was really difficult, and I used all of that panic and fear, and I started applying for jobs.
And then you got a job.
And I got a job.
And then it doesn't work out.
It doesn't work out, and you're back to square one, but I carried on because I knew that I wanted to stay, and I persisted, and I carried on sending resumes.
And that's how you got to your current job, again, in content writing.
Yes.
So many people who watch this may know I'm pushing this idea of don't look for a job. Biz dev, you chose to look for a job the traditional way, right? What did you learn from that process of job hunt in Israel?
The first thing is I am not fluent in Hebrew, so that was always going to be a challenge for me. And the second thing is...
But you made it.
I made it, and it's about persistence and not giving up.
So no Hebrew is not a barrier?
No.
What else?
The second thing is it's all a numbers game, it's a process, and you've got to be persistent.
So you need to bang on it.
You have to bang on it, you can't quit.
And I want to take you down there a little bit to, if you can share some numbers, because this is very important for a lot of people. When you say bang on it and send CVs, what numbers are we talking about here?
I would say 10 to 15 CVs a day.
So when you decide to apply the traditional way, 10 CVs a day, 10 applications a day?
Yes, maximum.
For how long?
You should send 10 to 15 CVs until you get to 100 CVs.
100. Okay. So what happens as you start sending like 10 CVs a day?
You may find that after you've sent 50 CVs, you'll start...
50, halfway to 100.
Yes.
What happens then?
You may start getting responses, but you may find yourself getting no's, a lot of no's.
So you only begin getting the no's at 50?
Yes.
Okay, and you keep on at it?
Exactly.
How does it look like when you get to 100?
You may get to 100 and you find that 90 companies have said no. You may land yourself 5 interviews. 4 of those interviews didn't work out. But at the end of the day, all you want is one yes.
Where did you see it working the most in terms of tools? There are Facebook groups, LinkedIn, job boards, randomly approaching people. What works best for you?
I thought that LinkedIn was an effective tool.
How on LinkedIn? The jobs section?
On the job section, you use Easy Apply and you just tap and apply.
So this is just a clicking game?
Clicking game.
So you just click and move on?
Yes. Alternatively, you can always reach out to the HR people in a company, and when you reach out, seek for advice. Don't just ask somebody for a job. if I'm looking at a company, I can go to somebody and say, hi, I'm Jared, I'm a content writer. I would appreciate your advice. I'm looking for a job. Would be happy to connect.
Okay, so hold on, this is important. Let's say someone out there looks and sees a relevant job. First of all, easy apply on LinkedIn,
Yes.
right? Clicked. Now you go and you reach out to the recruiter from that company, and then you send out a message like you sent, meaning you hit connect, because you need to connect with a person.
Yes.
And you don't just send connect, you add a personal note with what you just said.
Yes.
Okay, interesting. Last piece of advice. What would you say is a big general advice you can give to anyone out there who's struggling with their career paths, young professionals specifically?
Don't be afraid that you don't speak Hebrew. It shouldn't be an obstacle to you. Rather focus on the value that you add. Think about what you want and think about what a company needs.
Okay, so hold on. Hebrew is relevant to Israel, of course, but generally you're saying it's not just about what you want. You need to know what you want, but you also need to understand what the companies you want to work for need.
Yes.
So does that mean that you need to give up what you want?
No. You have to figure out what companies need. You have to determine your skill set and what you're good at, what you can offer, and then you need to go to a company who needs that.
Okay. And how does what you want come into here?
When you give a company what they need and what they're looking for, you may just find that it's what you wanted all along.
So when you give people what they need, you may discover it's actually part of what you want.
Yes.
I don't think there's a better way of ending this. Jared, thank you very much for contributing, and thank you so much for watching.